Hey Toolerinos, ever seen one of these before? Picked this up from my father-in-law's old garage. It says Auto Motor Heater. Pretty sure it says Allstate, and then there's more writing down here. I can't tell what that says, but if I can find one on eBay or something, I'll add the text below here. But check that out. I'm assuming you'd put kerosene in it, and there's a way to hang it, I'm assuming from below the engine, if you're supposed to heat the engine with it. And it has sort of this can here that covers. Alright, so it sort of has this almost like a tin can that covers this burner assembly, or maybe not burner, but the thing to protect the flame, to keep it from lighting other things on fire. But look how well preserved it was under the can. So that's kind of cool. And it looks like there's a little door here that you would rotate out of the way, maybe. It's rusted in place, but I'm assuming you'd open that little door and then put a match in there to light a wick. Not sure. Gonna have to do some cleaning up on this in order to even see what's inside there, because I don't know. But if it would work, it might make for a nice little workbench top heater for while I'm out here in the cold freezing shop, right? And on that note, I did kind of make one. This is the screen that would be on top of the flywheel for a lawnmower engine. You know, like one of these parts. Okay. So I took one of those and I cut it on one side. I hammered it, flattened it a bit, and then twisted it up into a cone, and then trimmed off the excess so that the cone would sit more or less straight up and down. I made this because I picked up, as part of a box of junk at a yard sale, I got a bunch of these chafing fuel things, which is just alcohol fuel with a wick. And so I thought, well, if I can make a screen that could sit over top of the flame, then the screen would glow red hot and it would throw more radiant heat. And it kind of works, but I think I need to refine my screen a little bit. It's I want it to be closer to the flame down below, so I need to twist this into a tighter circle and then maybe shorten it some more so that more of it touches the flame. Right now, just this part that's kind of white glows red hot. So, you know, it's a work in progress, but hopefully it'll work out better with an adjustment, and I'll have easy alcohol fuel heater to help keep me warm a little bit out here in the cold shop. So maybe if I can get this thing working, it'll be much better than that. But in the meantime, I have like half a dozen of those. Alright, so I was looking at it closely, and I noticed these little sort of cam spots, one on each side, to suggest that this would rotate and pull out. So I sprayed it down with some penetrating oil, and it came out. But I'm looking at this thinking, this is the wick, and the flames would come up here. But, and that makes sense that that's what you would light. You know, if you open that little side door, that you'd be able to put a match on that material to be the wick. But when I lift this up, look at that. If that's the wick, which is very interesting, how do you light the inside? You can't get the match through there too easily. So I'm really confused how that's supposed to work. Alright, upon further inspection, I found that this little sort of chimney assembly just fits snugly on top of the burner, if you will. But to light it, you're still going to have to remove this from that. So the purpose of the little door eludes me. You'd still have to remove this and remove this in order to access the wick sitting there to light it. And this ring is definitely not a wick. It does not go down into the fuel in any way. It is just sitting here in this groove. So that makes me think this does not burn. This is an insulator to shield the top of the can from the heat to some degree. And if that's the case, then this is probably made of asbestos, so I should be careful not to put that into the air because I don't want to breathe it. The wick is intact. It seems a little frail for its age, but it also seems like maybe it would work. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to clean this thing up, and as long as it holds kerosene, I'm going to light it up and see what it does. Alright, I just kind of scrubbed it all around with a nylon scrub brush, and then hit around in here with a wire brush, without that in place, of course. And I filled it about, I don't know, a third of the way with kerosene, and there does not appear to be any leakage, so the seam is still sealed. The filler cap came off without too much effort. I did not even need to put a tool on it. I was able to get it loose with my hand. Weird that there's no gasket under there, and there's these 3 holes to kind of let it breathe a little bit, I guess. And the little lighter door, at least I assume that's what the point of it was for. You can open it to see inside, though you cannot see past this chimney in any position. There is nowhere that you could reach in from opening that to access that. But I'm just waiting for the wick to hopefully successfully wick up some kerosene, and then I will light it and put the chimney on, and then put this over top of that, and we'll see what happens. So hopefully it'll burn clean and make some heat and make for a good workbench heater, right? Maybe a little more effective than this. We'll see. Well, it's burning. It's also smoking. So I think I'm gonna let it burn for a little bit and see if the smokiness stops. Because if it stays smoky, I can't use it in the shop. Well, Toolerinos, I left it outside to heat up, and now that it's fully warmed up, you can see it's making a nice even flame all the way around that inner chimney, which is surprising given how little of the wick was actually up. But it doesn't appear to be smoking much, if at all, really. And it does throw some heat. It's kind of nice, but I can't really tell if it's stinking up the place. With that yellow flame, I kind of feel like it's probably making some kerosene smell. But I've just recovered from having COVID again, and I have lost my sense of smell. So I can't really tell. And you can see how much of the screen is glowing on the alcohol burner, the chafing fuel thing. So I think if I can reshape that a little better, it would work a little better. But now I've got this, which, I don't know. I'll have to get my son out here and tell me if it smells. Because I can't tell. So I was about to put it out, and I noticed a couple things. One, kerosene seems to be wicking up around the top somehow. Not sure how that's happening, but that's a bit concerning. But also, if you pay attention to the flame, I'm going to loosen the cap, and it has these little holes that would let it breathe and draw air through here and apparently up under the wick. Watch what happens when I crack it. The flame gets bigger. And I can make it get so big that it starts to smoke. If I open it all the way up. So, you know, don't want it that high. But you can loosen this cap as a way to control the height of the flame and how much fuel and air it gets, apparently. So, interesting. Huh. There's got to be a manual for this out there somewhere. Alright, well, let's see what happens when I put the cap on it. Yeah, that's all the farther it can go because it hits the little door tab. And it's smoking. Well, I'm assuming it'll stop smoking when it cools off. But just to be safe, I think I'm going to put it outside. Alright, thanks for watching.